I couldn't quite believe it when I read that Canadians' net worth is on average $1 million. Well, a few of you might be in a position to say, yes, that's me, and if that's the case, let me know in the comments down below. More people will probably say, no way, I'm just way too far off from that number to even imagine that Canadians have an average of $1 million in net worth. So how wealthy are Canadians actually? Let's find out. And at the end of this video, you'll probably find out that you're not stacking up too bad after all. First of all, what does net worth actually mean? Net worth is not the same as savings. While it's great to have a lot of savings, it doesn't tell the whole picture about how well you're doing financially. Is someone who has $10 million in savings and investments doing well? It depends. If at the same time they're $20 million in debt, that puts them at minus $10 million in terms of net worth. Take for example the rapper 50 Cent, who at one point saw his net worth drop to minus $32.5 million. So it only takes you $1 to be wealthier than he was. So while savings alone does not give you an accurate picture of your financial situation, the concept of net worth gets us much closer. Net worth is simply the total dollar value of all assets minus all liabilities. It's an important indicator for you to keep track of if you care about your finances because it's a benchmark for measuring financial health. So the two components that make up net worth are assets and liabilities. In most simple terms, assets are everything that you own: your car, your home, your savings, and so on. Liabilities are basically everything that you owe, including home mortgages, car loans, credit card debt, and more. Taking your home as an example, if it's not paid off yet, if the value of that home is, let's say, $600,000 and the mortgage that you have on it is $500,000, then your net worth on your home is $100,000. And this bit about homes here will be very important when we talk about net worth by age groups later. If you want to know exactly what your net worth is, you can use calculators like this one here on getsmarteraboutmoney.ca. And I'll put the link to that down in the descriptions below. So in that recent study, Canadians' average household net worth hit $1 million, which has gone up by 30% from before the pandemic. But of course, not everyone is experiencing that kind of growth in net worth. Canadians under the age of 35 have an average net worth of $336,000. It's almost double for people between 35 to 44, who on average net $655,000. For the age bracket 45 to 55, we see the number doubling again to 1.3 million. For Canadians between 55 to 64, it's slightly tapered off to 1.1 million. All of that results in an average net worth of $1 million. If we look at the generational divide, we'll see that millennials grew their net worth to an average of almost $500,000, Gen X to a whopping $1.47 million, close to the baby boomers who amassed on average almost $1.4 million, and the pre-46 or the silent generation whose average net worth comes pretty close to millennials at $520,000. Now, I know, and many of you will point this out to me in the comments down below, that average numbers have a problem because they don't tell the full story. If there are 5 people in the room, 4 with a net worth of only $5,000 each, but one person with $4.98 million, the average would still be looking pretty at $1 million. Luckily, I found some median numbers which are more sobering but still show an impressive picture. But still, it doesn't mean that average numbers are completely useless. When we compare averages to averages, these numbers do show us a trend. Why is average net worth lowest for under 35-year-olds, then rises, hits its highest between 55 to 65, and then drops again at 65 plus? Although we could say, well, everything's just more difficult now, the bad economy, income stagnation, and well, there's some truth to that. It's just too simplistic and won't help us who want to financially thrive at all. Another more sensible explanation would be this. People under 35 have just been working for 10 plus years. They are likely earning an entry-level to mid-level salary and probably have student debt pulling their net worth into the red. But around 40, something magical happens. No, not really. I'd love if that were the case. At 40, many people's careers advances, they hopefully found a better job, got a couple of raises, and managed to finally start saving some money. But that's usually also the time when people start families, buy their first home, so the wealth building is still in the making. Canadians reach their peak income in the 45 to 54-year-old range, which coincides with higher net worth. In their late 50s to early 60s, people benefit from two things: Most of them are still working, while at the same time, many of them have also already paid off their mortgage, which increases their net worth. After 65 or later on, many people will have retired and start living off of their retirement funds, so their net worth goes down again. So if you look at these stats, it does paint sort of a life cycle where there's an initial growth phase and then a booming phase later on. It's very easy to look at your net worth right now and say, at this rate, I'm not going anywhere. But if you're young, especially under 30, you have time on your side to grow your net worth. No matter what your starting off net worth is right now, if you go through similar career cycles and make good financial decisions, your net worth will also likely peak in your 60s. But of course, building wealth is not just a function of time.
The significance of the passage of time. The significance of the passage of time.
And nothing happens magically or automatically. And one of the best things that you can do to grow your net worth is by investing your money. And it's so easy to dismiss what small amounts of money when invested over long periods of time can do. But if you just invested $1,000 per month for 10 years, which would total to $120,000 in deposits at an assumed rate of 7%, you'd have $171,000 by the end of those 10 years. And nowadays, there are so many investment platforms out there that allow you to self-invest. For example, Wealthsimple, the platform that I use. The interface is simple and clean and super easy to use for beginners. What I like the most is that there are no account opening or account maintenance fees, and unlike some other platforms, there are also no commission fees for both buying and selling stocks and ETFs. And if you sign up using my referral link in the descriptions below, both you and I will get a bonus of $25. Now, average numbers are a bit tricky, so I hope I don't sound too geeky when I say that I'm so glad to say that I found some median numbers. Median simply means the middle number. So if let's say the median income in some country is $50,000, it means that half of the people there have an income higher than $50,000 and half an income lower than that. And according to StatCan, in 2019, the median net worth was $330,000. Unfortunately, there are no 2024 numbers available, but even if that grew by 30%, we'd be at $429,000. Now compare this with the earlier average net worth number of $1 million, a far cry. So I know that these two sets of numbers are not directly comparable because of the time lag, but let's just try and work with this. In 2019, Canadians under 35 had a median income of $50,000, compared to 35 to 44-year-olds with a net worth of $234,000. And these numbers strike me as being much more closer to reality. Now, most of my viewers are between 25 and 44. So let me know in the comments down below, do these numbers make more sense to you? Moving on, 45 to 54-year-olds have a median net worth of $521,000. Canadians between 55 to 64, $690,000. And finally, 65-year-olds and above, a net worth of $543,000. In any case, average numbers or median numbers, we can see a trend here. People's net worth peaking in their 50s to 60s. But there is still one problem. It would be easy to conclude that high net worth equals happy and easy life, but that's not necessarily the case. Let's think back to how net worth is calculated, which is assets minus liabilities. The higher the assets, the higher the net worth is. The thing is that the tremendous growth in assets, the 30% increase since before the pandemic, is not just the result of people's investment portfolios growing. The biggest driver in higher net worth is actually real estate. Going back to the final quarter of 2019, total real estate wealth has grown by 48% to $8.92 trillion. Over the same time frame, financial assets have grown by a less spectacular 25.7%. So a lot of that net worth, that average $1 million, is actually tied up in real estate. And as we all know, Canada's housing market is a bubble, one of the biggest bubbles in the world. Even though on paper, it looks like someone's net worth has doubled, if that doubling is mainly driven by an increase in house value, it may not reflect a real increase in financial stability. As long as you live in your house, that asset is not liquid. You can't eat your house, to say it simply, unless this is your house. And let's just say that you have a $1 million home that you have already paid off. It still doesn't automatically mean that you can afford to spend your money freely. if apart from that home, you don't have high enough of an income or other assets that pay you dividends and interest. In this economy, where a block of butter at Walmart costs $7.50, you'll still need to watch your spending. So it's important that you don't have a high net worth that is just based on your home value, but that you have a diverse portfolio of assets that give you real financial flexibility. Now, if you're a beginner in investing, then this video here might help you learn the basics. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos on growing your wealth. There won't be a video next week, but I'll see you again pretty soon. Until then, enjoy the summer.